So in this video we will see some pretty important bash commands that we can not only use in our scripts but also in the terminal itself. So in the last video we have seen the echo command, which allows us to print stuff out to the terminal. But there's also, for example, the ls commands that we also seen in the first video that allows us to get the list of all files and folders inside a directory. And of course, being bash scripts, the same language that we use in the terminal, we can also use ls inside of our scripts. So let's try and, for example, execute our script now. As you can see, we get that it prints out the files inside our directory. That's because it is basically the same as if we executed inside the terminal the command ls. Now, we have seen how to print out the list of all files and folders inside the directory, but sometimes some files inside the directory are hidden. And for this, we will use the /a flag for the command, which prints out all files and folders, even the hidden ones. So maybe you have come across already hidden files in your operating system, in your life, but if not, just know that in some folders you could have folders and files that are hidden. And hidden files by default, for example, even in the graphical user interface, they're not shown. So if we try to run our script again, as you can see, we also get in this case cd dot dot and cd dot, which are actually, in this case, cd dot dot is a command to go to the back. We can also create files inside of our bash script using the touch command. So we can use touch and then, for example, say file.txt, and let's see what happens. So if we run our script and now we ls, we see that we have a new file. That file is file.txt that we created. So now, for example, let's try to add something inside our file. So for example, let's say hello world, something like this. And let's try to use another command inside our script, and that is cat. So cat allows us to display the content of a text file. So if we now run our program, as you can see, we get the input, what was inside the file. Inside, even if we use cat.file.txt, we can also do it in the terminal directly. We can also, for example, cat our script, and we will see the content of our script. So we can cat in general scripts and text files and stuff like that to see the content, the text content of these files. Now, one of the last things that we will see in this video is the concept of comments. So instead of script, sometimes we want to give, especially other developers that want to read our scripts and want to read our programs, some more extra information about the code we write. For this reason, we include comments. And comments are basically lines of code which are not executed by the interpreter. So this is, for example, a comment, and to denote a comment, we will use this hashtag. Now notice, for example, that this up here is not a comment, because, and this is a particular case in which the comment symbol, which is the hashtag followed by an exclamation mark, is not a comment. It is a shebang operation. This is basically what we put, we've covered this in the first video at the beginning of our file to tell the operating system that he should read this file using the bash interpreter. In very simple terms, the bash interpreter is something that, as the word interpreter suggests, it's something that allows us to communicate with the computer. And so basically what it does is it understands a language, basically. And so what we're saying that in this file, we're going to speak this language. Okay, so use this interpreter here. So this is a special case, so don't get confused. This is not actually a comment. This is another type of instruction. But all lines of code which start with this hashtag, which are not a shebang line of code, are actually comments. So this, for example, is a comment. So I can write this is a comment. And for example, here in this case, we can comment this line of code that we set here, and we can say display the, for example, the content of file.txt. Okay, so let's try and run again our program. As you can see, nothing changed. That is because these lines of code were actually ignored by the interpreter. So they're just to help the developers. With this said, in the next video, we will look at variables.